Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. I'm excited to give you right off the bat, Mr. Harlod Payne.
Here's a song about being a musician, something I know a little bit about. I know you're concerned about the path that my life is taking. The lessons I've learned are worth more than the money I'm not making. I'm gonna take the time to live my dream. I wouldn't change my life for anything. So don't worry about me, I'm doing alright. It may look like I'm struggling, I'm loving this life, and I won't die if I don't make history. I'm right where I wanna be, so don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. In spite of how it appears, I haven't taken a vow of poverty. It's not your average career, but it's cheaper than getting therapy. I'm not waiting till some moment arrives. It's not the destination, it's the ride. So don't worry about me, I'm doing alright. It may look like I'm struggling, I'm loving this life, and I won't die if I don't make history. I'm right where I wanna be, so don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. My existence is not measured by the things that I possess, but by the person I become. So I'm gonna follow my heart wherever my passion leads me. If I have to swim with some sharks, I'm not gonna let them bleed me. And no matter how far I get, I won't be drowning in an ocean of regret. So don't worry about me, I'm doing alright. It may look like I'm struggling, I'm loving this life, and I won't die if I don't make history. I'm right where I wanna be, so don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm just doing what comes naturally. Don't tell me I'll probably be doing this for free. Don't you worry, that means I must be doing the right thing. Hey, it's not a fight thing. Don't you worry, yeah. Don't you worry about me. Don't you worry.
Harlod Payne, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that intro. What a beautiful welcome. And good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert, and friends all over this beautiful planet of ours. It's a glorious Monday morning, made even better by the sweet sounds of Harlod Payne. Good morning, my
Rap
friend.
on.
Thank you for so much for being with us again. Harlod Payne, part 2.
Yes, and I'm going to close this window here one moment.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Play one song off this. Elvis has left the building. He's done. Mic drop.
That's right. Well, when your last name is Payne, you don't need extra windows in the... oh, sorry.
Oh.
I'm setting up as we're going here.
There we go. I love it. Hey,
that's my MO, is making it up as I go.
Life in motion. That's what we do. So for those of you that were with us the first time around, however long ago it was, Harold's an extraordinary human being. He's multi-platinum award-winning songwriter, singer, performer. He's worked with a who's who. I mean, it's just a laundry list of extraordinary individuals. I was just saying before we came on live that you're
laundromats all over America. Yes.
That your life looks like one.
Oh,
okay.
And this is what my life looks like. I'm so animated that my screen. Yeah,
Oh, there we
I
go.
think it's hopefully handled close enough.
Okay, so how about
So,
giving us a taste of when life's falling apart? What do we do?
all right.
Which is appropriate. It's apropos for the a little bit of time we're living in here.
All right, let me think of a groove here. Sometimes things don't go as they're planned. Sometimes you gotta be where you are and just make a stand. But when life is falling apart, the only thing that you can do is follow your heart. Follow your heart. Just at the moment when things are crashing down, that's when you can open your voice and make the loudest sound. It doesn't matter what your background is, as long as you're taking care of biz. Yeah, you don't even have to be a whiz. When things are falling apart, just follow your heart. Follow your heart, it's a snap. You never know where life is gonna lead you to go. And sometimes the best moments come from when you are lost along the way. That's the best way to be found, so many people say. And I believe it, so if you're somewhere caught in between and you're losing the background of your shoji screen and something is gonna happen that you never expected, and your life somehow gets missed or gets redirected in an even better, stronger, loving way. So just remember what we said. I'm glad you gave me the go-ahead to just do something in the moment here, right here and now. And we ended up with this song somehow. Just remember when your life is falling apart, the best thing that you can do is follow your heart. Oh, man.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Oh, wow.
Talk about lemons into lemonade. Bring it on. That's awesome. So I can attest, ladies and gentlemen, that was a spontaneous song by Harlod Payne. That's the magic of the moment, and we want to hear from you. So please, if you have a song title, something that's on your heart, a challenge that you're facing, a triumph that you've just experienced, anything, a question. What Harlod loves to do is bring in a song title, put it in the form of a song title, and on the spot, Harlod will create a song around that. How healing is that, by the way? Just that moment. What a gift, when the lyrics I went to in my head when things are falling apart. Maybe the B side of that is you can make a new start.
There you go. Okay.
And follow your heart. I love that. But I mean, that's both are appropriate, right? Hey, being a platinum, a multi-platinum award winner, how does that? That's a million units. Is that correct? Platinum is 1 million units.
Yeah, I mean, and what it is songs I've written for other artists, on the albums.
You contribute to them. You're part of it, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is that like what's the pinnacle for an artist? As far as it's probably different for everybody. What would you say your pinnacle is, as far as expression and creativity and the industry within which you've had an entire career?
Well, to be honest with you, the pinnacle for me is being in a room of a relatively small group of people and connecting with them and each of those is a pearl on a strand of great moments, more than one giant thing. Because to be able to get to do that on a regular basis, to me, is a collection of short stories in a book. That the book itself is the magic, is the big thing, not any one big thing. That's how I mean. The analogy, I guess, would be is I'd rather play 20 shows for 100 people than one for whatever the math of that is, 2,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
And just it just the idea of connecting, and I was talking to somebody earlier about I don't recall if we talked about the last time about the one man show kind of a thing that I was that I'm kind of working on.
Let's share more about it, would you please?
Well, it's songs and stories, kind of not unlike what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But there's an arc, and but it's more the idea of someone who's, not super famous, but happily so, and just to get some of the best part of the music, and without all the business part of it, to a certain extent, just is the heart of the melon.
The heart of the melon. That's great. I love that. Because at your heart, I mean, there's the business part of things as well, but
right.
For the performer, for you, the music makes you tick. Is that right? It's the music that does that's the magic.
Yes, I mean, I'm from the time I started doing it, I've always been in touch with the performing side, and am always performing. Whether it's for, regular club gigs that I do, or for large events, or for writing. I do a lot of custom songs for special events. I mean, this last week, I did a 3-day seminar. A 3-day. It was called Sponsor Secrets Seminar. This woman named Linda Hollander, incredible, where she teaches people how to work with sponsors. And I did it last year. And what I often do in events is kind of create songs along the way, either as a recap song at the end of the day or at the end of someone speaking. And then I also did an improv song, kind of like what I do here. And the subject matter was something from within what was going on at the conference. And I also did 2 Facebook Live events. I played 2 live gigs. I did a Birch Church.
Birch Church.
And and a custom song virtually that I did on Zoom, but I was fortunate enough to have done enough Zoom events to know that sometimes things go wrong. So I had already pre-recorded it and put it on a YouTube with a link, so that, and they had kind of a faulty internet and it froze. So I just said, "Here's the link, press go."
There you
so
go.
I felt like I'm cool.
So that recap thing, that's actually interesting. You could crazy thinking Charles over here. You could actually,
please crazy think for me.
Like a family could hire you to recap their year of marriage and put it into a song, or the first year of their child's first grade, whatever it might be. I mean, you could actually come in, hear stories from the family, or for weddings, things like that, all sorts of things. And for posterity's sake, put a package together, something that could be meaningful for the family for years to come, huh? Or the group.
That's right. No, I've done, a friend of mine and I, a video guy, we had started an idea similar to that. We were calling it The Egg for whatever reason. And we were going to just come in and interview family members, and it somehow didn't come to fruition. But the idea, and some people said, "Why don't you just follow me around and make up songs all day long?" So if you want to hire me to come and follow you around and make up songs about,
There you go.
I'm doing the dishes. That's not my fondest wishes, whatever. But
Love it. Love it.
you never know where it's going to go.
You never know where it's going to go. Let's see. We've already got a song request, but before we get to that, talk to us about Contagious Optimism.
Okay. We'll go from this recap thing. I did I belong to the LA chapter of the National Speakers Association, and I've gone to several national conferences, and I was incredibly fortunate enough to be asked to do recaps of all 8 or 9 of the main stage speakers one year, 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm not sure if we talked about this, but it led to someone said, can you, how would you like to do a TEDx talk about spontaneity?
Mm.
And I said, what is a TEDx talk? And somebody kicked me under the table and said, do it.
Just say yes.
Just say yes. So I said, okay. So it happened to be in Delray Beach, Florida. This was, I think, 2013 or something like that. And so I went there, and there's all these incredible speakers, and I met a lot of great people there, and I did a recap song at the end, kind of encapsulating all, a little bit about each speaker that went on, and I came up with a chorus that that ended up after I had done this later on, and we did a couple other events. I went and wrote actual verses because I like the Contagious Optimism theme as a chorus, but doing inside things about each speaker wouldn't speak to other people outside of that. So I wanted to make it into a song that everyone could relate to. So I came up with this, use the chorus, which is Optimism Is Contagious. And one of the speakers at the TEDx event was a guy named David Mezapel, who has a book series called Contagious Optimism, kind of like a chicken soup for the soul thing.
Okay.
And then he came up with the idea of doing a TEDx type of thing, but having more entertainment, kind of a hybrid.
Mm.
And we did 2 of them. One of them was in Florida, and one of them was in LA at this beautiful Thousand Oaks theater. And I was kind of like the music director, kind of any of the talent people. I brought them in, and then I did a recap at the end. So I ended up with this song, Optimism Is Contagious. And while I'm talking about it, I'm going to look up the lyric because I don't have that one.
That was my next question. Can you play it for us?
Yes, and we did a pretty cool video. I could even, show that for you, but probably be easier if I just played it, I imagine.
Well, I know right. Krista can help us with a screen share if you wanted to show the video, but I know we'd love to hear you sing.
Let's see if we can, if it's real easy to do. No. Okay, let's just play it. I think that'll be easier. So
okay.
I'm going to find the lyrics here in front of me as we're vamping along.
Yep. And I want to, if anybody is interested ever in hiring, what do they go through? Do they Positive Payne? Is that where do we go? Or do you have someone that handles your bookings for you?
Yes, I mean, if they just go to my website,
yep.
There's someone there. But also you can, it's positivepayne@me.com, but Payne.
You can see what Harold's up to. Everything Harold's up to. HaroldPayneMusic.com. There we go.
Yes.
Yep. Krista put it up there for us. So. Yeah, I mean,
Krista is on the case.
Krista is on the case, live from Manila in the middle of the night. We love that. Manila, Philippines. Thank you, Krista.
Salamat po.
Salamato. All right, he's ready. Here we go,
okay.
Ladies. Once again, Harold Payne.
Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Well, hope is a place where one smiling face can make a difference. Where positive messages dance past the edges of doubt. It's a ripple, it's a rhythm, it's a movement, it's a beating of drums. Oh, and you can't help but move to its music when it comes. Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. The rocks can be smoothed and tides can be moved by the moon. Armies disarmed and snakes simply charmed by a tune. It's a candle, it's a beacon, it's a comet, it's a constellation. Oh, so let yourself go and bask in the glow of the illumination. Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Oh, simply defined, it's a state of mind. Oh, do you want to stand in the dark? Do you want to shine? Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Optimism is contagious. Say it loud and sing it strong. This is where you're singing along, yeah. Optimism is contagious. Pick it up and pass it on. Pick it up and pass it on. Pick it up and pass it on. Hey, yeah. Pick it up and pass it on. Yeah. Pick it up and pass it on. Thank you.
Harlod Payne. So, who informed or who, what, how did you come to your worldview? I mean, everything that you've done, you've so much positive pain. Optimism is contagious. All the good that you've brought into the world. Who was instrumental in your development that helped form your worldview and those types of ideas that you live with?
This is tough because one of the most important aspects of that was my mom, and she just passed this last weekend. And I wasn't going to bring it up, but I can't help but express that my mom and dad, I thought everybody had a mom and dad like that did everything in their life for their kids. And I mean, they enjoyed their life, but I mean, they just, just observing how they dealt with the world and the kindness that they showed to other people, both of them. My mom was the sort of person that would behind the scenes, she was like the Cub Scouts leader or whatever, and always just not trying to be in the limelight, or like just taking care of business and cooking meals for the guys on the football team that would show up on Saturday for 3 or 4 extra, and she'd just somehow have food for them. And the way she dealt with the neighbors and everybody she came across with, and and everyone was welcome at our house, and any stray people that didn't have a place for Thanksgiving or didn't have a place for the night or whatever. And the same thing with my dad. And as far as the foundation that I had and the example, not only as what they told us we should do, but every act that they did, and my dad was electrician and sound man for the city of Los Angeles, and he actually put in the sound system at the Greek Theater.
Oh wow!
And so as a kid, it was my first exposure to live music. I remember going to see. I was in the back with my dad, and this was a time when it was not sophisticated at all. There was a volume, bass, and treble, and mics on each of the performers, and lights on some stand. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was like, you better bring it, because there was no technical, enhancements, no reverb. I mean, it just. And I saw people like Harry Belafonte, to this day, one of the most extraordinary performers I ever saw. Just killing it on stage with just talent and exuberance and joy, and also that welcoming in of other people. There are some people that maybe don't realize that shining a light on other people reflects back on you in a positive way, rather than you try to keep the light away from other people. And I mean, that's my feeling. And even though you do it, to me, the favorite thing is when you do something unconditionally, and then it also comes back as something good for you, even though that's not the reason you're doing it. That's the perfect situation. And when you see that in action, and when I saw my parents, but moving into the world of positivity in music, I went to a class at UCLA. I went to UCLA and went to grad school there also. Someone had it was extension school, and it was a woman who's how to make and sell your own record, just when CDs were just happening, when that was, when people were actually playing CDs, and the beginning part of that. And she talked about artist-oriented, speaking of the business of music, artist-oriented versus concept-oriented. And she said, so you can put out an album, put your name on it, and if people don't know who you are, they have no idea what the music is about. Maybe the title is indicative, or what you look like. But the concept-oriented marketing, if you put out something that says, Beatles ballads on hammered dulcimer, then people know what it is. You could put it in a stationery store on a rack, and people would go, oh, that sounds cool, I think I'll buy it. And not that you don't want to do your artist-oriented things too, but it made me think, because I had just started my own little label, really for the purpose of putting my own stuff out. Because it was during a time when there weren't really indie labels at this time, and if they were just starting, and so I wanted to put out my own album. I also want to put out my group Gravity, which is now Gravity 180, our albums, and I want to put out a sampler of the label. Somebody suggested I do a sampler, and I thought, well, I can put out a sampler, and I can also take the theme, some sort of a theme, like concept-oriented marketing. So I said, what is my theme? Who am I? And I looked back at all the songs I'd been writing for decades, and the theme, it was like I was putting a bow on what I'd been doing all my life, and it was positive. So I got, it was a time when I could still got positivemusic.com and .org, and I just, my idea was to do, have this concept, and then also do themed tours. There was a label that was doing that with new age music, Windham Hill, and they were having all these artists that people knew what their sound was, and that whichever artist showed up, they knew they were going to get this vibe, kind of like a smooth jazz show or something. They knew everybody was in a concept thing. So I thought that's cool. And so my idea was to do that. And I put out, so my sampler turned into The Power of Positive Music, Volume 1. And it was meant to be like the lead in what would be several. And so I used my solo things and Clydeen, who's the other lead singer in our group Gravity. Those are two of the groups, and the other group was Gravity. So it was like I kind of used 3 separate entities that were all almost really one, but just to express the idea that these were several artists doing positive music. And then shortly thereafter, there was a Empower Music and Arts came along, which is Richard McDeesey and Sue K. Riley. And they were doing something similar, doing positive music and bringing people together, and also eventually doing tours. And I thought, I'm really not an admin guy anyway. So I was really happy to see somebody else be doing that, because, The Power of Positive Music Volume 1 is the only volume that has ever come out. So it's a good thing that because they've done like 15 of these now, where they started having these events. And stop me if I'm going down too far on this road here.
Oh no, I've got a couple follow-ups, but go. I mean, yeah, go for it.
Okay, just the thing is that Empower Music and Arts, EMPOWERMA.com, Empower Music and Arts. It's a wonderful organization, and they started having these events every year where people from all over the country that were doing in their own little corner of the world, not realizing there are other people out there that were playing kind of positive message type songs. And so we all started gathering together, and they had these awards things where you submitted songs and they picked in different categories, and it really became a wonderful connecting point. And it also tied in with New Thought churches, because they had a thing called Sound Connections, where music directors from Unity and CSL churches, Center for Spiritual Living, as you know,
Yep.
but just
Yep.
and would come together. And now that it's joined as one, it's a secular event, but now the two are joined, and so it's a nice crossover, because these music directors can see these positive music artists and vice versa, and connect.
Share the website one more time, would you please?
It's Empower, EMPOWERMA.com.
EmpowerMA.com. Okay, great.
MA stands for Music and Arts.
Love it. EMPOWERMA.com.
Yeah, and includes
Love
speakers and authors, and
And you do some speaking as well, right? First of all, I want to just, from our family to yours, condolences about your mother. My heart's with you for sure, and I know that the heart of our family is with you as well. That's you only get one mom, so much love to you, Harold.
Thank you.
And from one knowing how influential my mom has been in my life to another, and she's informed my worldview substantially and how I live. So I know it's just an incredibly special relationship. So big love there.
Thank you.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Yeah. So it seems like you've just found outlets though, because you do some speaking as well, right? In addition to the songwriting and performing music. Yeah.
I do, but not a lot. At a certain point, because the TEDx talk I did was called "Preparing for Spontaneity," and it really was, someone asked me to reverse engineer how I do these recap songs or how I do improv, and so I had to kind of go in and kind of, like I say, reverse engineer and figure it out, and I came up with the title Preparing for Spontaneity, and I thought that I was going to kind of own the spontaneity world and go into the speaking world, but I just found that music being my main love, the effort that it would take to go out and really the business aspects of that to go full on would take over a lot of the music part, and I just made a decision to, when speaking opportunities came along, that I would do them, but I was just not gonna go down that road. I mean,
Gotcha.
Maybe financially, it would have been a good thing, and maybe being a songwriter full time might have been more lucrative. And there's this point in my life where I went to that crossroads as well, which we can talk about later. But
Cool. Lovely. Lovely. We had a song request come in.
Okay.
And maybe this is something, well, take it wherever you want, obviously. A New Start and Trusting the Universe is the name of the song. New Start and Trusting the Universe.
Okay, it's a little bit tied in with what we did before, so I better make it. I'll go with Trusting the Universe.
I'll sing a song. New Start. New Start, and well, this is from Wandering Being. Sing a song about a new start and trusting the universe and God. So I however you want to go with that. It is a little bit tied in, and it might be inspired because of that. But take it wherever you want. How about just trusting the universe?
Yeah, that's. I'll go with that. Let's see. Try not to. I'm locked into the last groove I was in, so I'm trying to go somewhere else.
Gotcha. Yeah. You got it.
So I'm gonna put a capo on and play in a different key, and which is analogous to starting from another place, like doing a tabula rasa thing and cleaning the slate from whereas before by putting this capo on, and then playing in a different key because each key has their own personality. So shut up and sing, Harold. Go ahead.
Let me ask you while you're getting situated then, and not to pick at something that's too raw, but how do you trust the universe with the recent passing of someone that you've loved so much? How do you dance with that in your grief? And I know it still sounds very fresh. It is very fresh.
I don't know if I'm ready to publicly talk about that, to be honest with you. But unless it comes out and I can't help it.
Got it.
So many questions, sometimes few answers. Sometimes you gotta just listen to the music, pretend you're a dancer. You don't even know what the next movement will be. Creating the future without the history. Trusting the universe, not knowing what comes last and what comes first. Just closing your eyes and going with the flow. Being okay with the fact that you just don't know. Sometimes the best things show up when you least expect them. You just channel them when you know that you can't direct them. It's like holding on to a cyclone for dear life, knowing that someone's gonna take you somewhere that's right. Trusting the universe, don't know what's last and what comes first. It happens in a moment, an incredible burst. You just ride with that, knowing that somehow you'll be growing, taking all of that love, all of that joy, turning into something you never had before, where the future meets the past. No thinking, just let it come by fast. There's no time to rehearse when you're trusting the universe.
Rich. Thank you, Harold.
Thank you.
You mentioned to me India. Talk to us about India and your travels to that ancient land and your experience there. What happened for you there?
Well, it kind of ties in with the idea of I was talking about being, I started getting a lot of songs recorded and getting successful in that arena. But I found that as proud as I was of the fact that I could write songs in a lot of different directors and different genres, I felt like I was kind of starting to lose my center as a singer-songwriter, troubadour, wandering minstrel kind of a heart. And I also had a little health challenge, and I went to this holistic health retreat where you fasted for 2 weeks. Literally, you started off on juice for a day or two, and then it was water for about 10 days, and then in 2 days of off of that. So I mean, by the third day, you're hugging trees and you're not thinking about food, and then you're taking these classes and meditating and dream therapy, and it was just an amazing time and a transition. And right at the kind of the culmination of it, I actually went to I was in, of all things, at a fasting, in the middle of a fast, at a nutrition lecture. And it wasn't the most fascinating thing at the time, and I was sitting in the back, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and whispered, "Hey, there's a guy from India here who's talking in this other room." So I snuck out the back and went and heard this guy. His name is Prem Kumar, and he was walking around the world from India, and it just spoke to my wandering minstrel soul. And that night I went to my room and wrote the first song kind of for myself, from myself, in a long time, rather than an assignment song for somebody else. And when he walked through my part of Southern California on Pacific Coast Highway, I went out and met him, and I told him I'd written this song about him, and he invited me to come to India. So he was doing this international peace walk, starting at Ahmedabad, India, at Gandhi Ashram. And I go, yeah, that'll get me out of that, cubicle. And so I went there, and when I arrived in India after this 24-hour plane ride and not sleeping the night before, and then getting off the plane and seeing centuries of Indian culture in front of your eyes, people pulling a ox cart and somebody with a briefcase next to that, and some 500-year-old structure over here, and the smells and the sounds and the modern technology over here, and centuries old stuff down the street, and just mind blowing. And then I'm being kind of semi-dazed. I walk into this room, and Prem was there, and I was in the back of the room, and they were doing this. They just had the world famous Mahabharata dancers doing this thing. There's about 500 people in this hall, and then they had the candle lighting ceremony, signifying that from all these countries that we're all one. So they lit candles from 20 something different countries into one. So as I walked in, they were having this candle lighting ceremony, and I'm sitting in the back going, "Oh wow, this is so cool." And all of a sudden Prem goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, from America, Harlod Payne, singer-songwriter." I'm going, "What? Like I'm supposed to do something?" And he's going like this. Well, actually, I think it's more like this in India, and so I started walking up in a daze, going, like, what could I possibly do? and you know, a lot of people there spoke Gujarati, the local dialect or language, and or Hindi, and I didn't have a guitar with me, so I'm walking up there going, and I said, please God, you know, speaking of trusting the universe, like this is tied into the last thing. So at the last one step before I got on stage, I remembered one step. That'll tie in. I remembered the one song in Hindi that Prem had taught me, and the song is called Jyoti Si Jyoti, which in Hindi means candle to candle. And they just had this candle lighting ceremony, and unbeknownst to me, everybody in the audience knew this song. It was a famous song from a film. So I'm just being introduced to India, and I walk up there and I start doing this song that tied in perfectly with what he was talking about, what was happening, and that they all knew. And here was this guy from America.
Wow.
And I got 10 seconds into the song, and the entire audience rose to their feet and started throwing flowers, garlands of flowers, on the stage.
Wow.
That was my introduction to India.
Wow.
So I can do that song. You know, it was as if from my 10,000 song Hindi repertoire, I picked the perfect song for that moment. You know. So if you like, I can do a little piece of that song, and then go into the song I wrote about India. I'll do a short version of the two.
Do it.
ज्योति सी ज्योति जगाते चलो, ज्योति सी ज्योति जगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो. Everybody, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, which roughly translated into English means candle to candle the light travels on, candle to candle the light travels on, our love like a river flows ever strong, prem ki ganga bahate chalo. In India, I walk in the footsteps of those who've gone before, and this road I travel on will lift me up and make me strong. So when people ask me what this journey's for, if I take one step in the right direction, if I touch one heart along the way, that one step comes a chain reaction, then my journey has not been in vain. I get my inspiration from the words of the children. I'm trying to teach myself what they already know. If I could show my fellow man what a child can understand, then the seeds that I have sown will surely grow. If I take one step in the right direction, if I touch one heart along the way, if that one step from the chain reaction, then my journey has not been in vain. If I take one step in the right direction, if I touch one heart along the way, if that one step becomes a chain reaction, then my journey has not been in vain.
What was his reaction when you played the song for him? I know he invited you to India, but did he have an immediate personal reaction with you as well?
Oh yeah, no, he was blown away.
Was he?
You know, that he felt like I captured the essence of his.
Mm.
I left one verse out there because I'm doing a medley. I didn't want to make it too long, but yeah, he did, you know, it was, we bonded, you know, and you know, I still have friends from that. That was a few decades back, and I still have, you know, friends from that, and it was one of those life-changing moments, you know, for sure. Walking through the villages of India.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful travel. You know, meeting the people and having those experiences, just traveling. It's we all ought to do it. When I used to work with kids, Harold, one of the things I'd encourage them to do is to get a passport. Just start by getting a passport, so then you can have some access. I mean, things are a little different these days, but at least get one. Yeah.
No, absolutely, and I feel that, you know, every time I come back from a trip, you know, I'm re-entering my own world with such a different perspective from all the things that I've gathered and learned along the way, rather than, you know, to me, you know, like I really like idiomatic expressions in different languages and how that expresses itself. I don't know if I used this analogy before, but the idea of, I think I may have talked about it in the last time about Spanish and about how we say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. In Spanish, they say, tiene que bailar con la canción que se toca. One must dance to the song that is being played. Mm. And that illustrates how they take that same reality and express the same concept, but in such a different way. And those perspectives are what we get, part of what we get from traveling.
That's right. Absolutely. Yep. Love it. Well, it's been a wonderful, amazing hour. We're always just about to the top of the hour already. And
we didn't know where we were going to go, but we got there.
We got there. We got there in great fashion, if I might say. So, what as we start wrapping it up here, what's as you continue to plot your course, what's on the horizon for Harlod Payne? Where are you continuing to write the music? Are any new projects underway? What's new? Anything?
Yeah, I have some really cool custom songs that I'm doing right now, and just kind of raising the stakes on that, on the custom song world and the recap thing, and getting that out to some bigger and better opportunities, and really just showing up. I'm still performing a lot, and then the one-man show is kind of what's on my bucket list next.
Love it.
You know,
Love
to
it.
take that.
HaroldPayneMusic.com. HAROLD. I know Krista put it up there earlier. HaroldPayne music.com is the man's website. PositivePain@me.com. Also, you'll find on the website, if you're interested in booking Harold, Chris Fletcher is your man. CC Music.
It's a she.
She, excuse me.
Yeah.
Chris Fletcher is your gal. Chris Fletcher, CC Music Booking @gmail.com. Forgive me, Chris. I apologize. So those are the ways to keep in touch with Harold and what's going on. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us for another hour.
And my pleasure. And Krista, thank you. Mahusay magaling.
Love that.
Salamat po. Anyway, my great pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Hey, you as well, Harold. I'm just going to do a couple of announcements here, and then we're going to call it a morning. Tomorrow, I'm with Jafon Seeley again for chapter 14 of our book that we're moving through. Sensational 6 on Wednesday. Thursday is the first official installment of Dr. Laura Shackelford's new weekly program, The Higher View. And then Friday, I have the great opportunity to interview Sharif Abdullah from Commonwealth Institute out of Portland. He's done stuff all over the world, Sharif Abdullah. And of course, we continue to welcome and be so appreciative for your financial contributions to continue to empower our center in doing the wonderful work that we're up to, these daily programmings, in addition to many other programs as well. I also want to remind you that we've got our blood drive happening on Friday in the parking lot of the center. My understanding is that there's critical shortages right now of blood, and that's why we're doing this. So please, if you can help out with a blood donation, that would be great. We'll be in the parking lot on Friday at the center here in Palm Desert. And Dr. Joe, you'll be hearing from him. He's back this week. So he'll be coming to you for the Sunday service, and then back in the mix starting next week with our daily programming. So lots of good stuff happening. So grateful for everybody and for the community, and specifically and especially right now, so grateful for Mr. Harlod Payne, inspiring us to get our week going in the right direction. Positive Payne. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Have an extraordinary week. Talk to you soon.
You too.
Much love, everybody. Make it best day ever. Peace and love.